podcast for fully slate here, James. We have split slate here on Wednesday. We have 5 games kicking off at 3:10 p.m. Eastern on DraftKings. Then we have a 7 p.m. main slate. James and I will be live at 5 o'clock Eastern time to cover the 7 p.m. main slate, but I know that many of you like to get some early day baseball action in, so today's podcast we'll be covering that 3:10 start, 5 games here, James.
Yeah, 5 games. We can't avoid Coors no matter how hard we try, John. It's on this afternoon slate starting at 3:10. Another rain icon on DraftKings. We'll see what the GOAT Kevin Roth has to say during the day. But it is an interesting slate. All West Coast games, by the way. All West Coast. These are all going to be like afternoon matinees. This is their version of like
12 o'clock, 1
the
o'clock.
12. Yeah, the 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock starts. Very interesting slate. I like it a little bit. I don't like it in other places. Pitcher drops off very fast, which we've
I
seen
think
a lot
there are
on
going to be
these.
2 very obvious plays, and then you'll be feeling around for some others.
Yep. So definitely interesting 5-gamer to kick off the day, and I only see 3 spreads. We don't have anything in Kansas City, San Diego, or Philly, San Francisco. Over under of 9 in Oakland, Arizona. Ryan Nelson versus Luis Medina. Oakland plus 140 at home. Over under open at 11. Cincinnati, Colorado. Graham Ashcraft versus Austin Gomber. Then 8.5 runs implied in Dodgers, Minnesota. Minus 150 for the Dodgers. So everything's, pretty solid, 8.5 or above, and we'll see what happens. I don't see an announced starter. Who are the Giants starting? Manaea? I don't believe it.
Yeah, I see Manaea listed.
We'll see. See what MLB.com has to say about that. We've been duped by this before. Covers doesn't have anybody listed. Sometimes that's because it's like, well, yeah, I see MLB.com TBD and Kansas City Royals also listing TBD.
Yeah, this most recent player note on Manaea says that he could be sent back to the bullpen once Alex Wood was activated. And Alex Wood pitched yesterday, I believe, right? Or today?
Yep. Yeah, he pitched on Monday.
Right.
So
we'll see.
Yeah. And Jonathan Heasley is slated here on DraftKings for Kansas City. He is in the minors. So 2 pitchers TBD. Like, we can approach it as if this is the arms, but also, take it with a grain of salt because John just mentioned one might be sent down and one of them doesn't even exist in the major leagues right now. So TBD on both those situations because even MLB.com does not have a listed starter for either team.
Right. Let's just jump into it. I mentioned to you there's 2, I think, obvious pitching spots that most will be going to. That's Yu Darvish and Dustin May. I think those are the 2 that people will go to this slate, and they'll plug in. Darvish gets Kansas City, May gets Minnesota. That said, Sonny Gray's been pitching out of his mind. Not that we want to generally go at the Dodgers, but on a slate like this where there isn't many options, Sonny Gray has been pitching like one of the best pitchers in baseball this year. So 1.39 ERA, he's 4-0, he's got 56 strikeouts in 45 innings this season. I mean, again, the guy is giving up 7 total earned runs. I don't think anybody's going to be going to Sonny Gray pitching up against the Dodgers, but again, I think that there is on a smaller slate, if you want to be different, maybe Gray is a place to go. Otherwise, it's for me, building a lineup, it's Darvish and May, and then you start throwing darts, right? Ty Walker, Nelson against Oakland, maybe close your eyes and hit okay, right? Like, there's not much else after those top couple guys there.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a slate I would be taking a shot on Sonny Gray because he's been so good. Other than like a bad season and some injury-prone plagued years, like he's been a very good pitcher for most of his career.
Mm-hmm.
This is obviously, I think, a little different. He's pitching out of his freaking skull, but he's done really well against the Astros. 5 innings, just 1 run against the Boston Red Sox in the middle of, they've been so good for quite a while. 7 scoreless against the Yankees. Everything's on the ground and everything is a strikeout. Like, there's one of 2 outcomes. Has not allowed a home run yet this year either for Sonny Gray, like this would be a spot I'd be willing to get to.
Yeah.
So no problem getting to Gray. I agree with what you did say though. Like Darvish is probably the chalk, especially considering how bad Kansas City's offense has been in large part this year. Like overall, their offense has been bad. I understand that you and I talk about them all the time, and they've been better, but large sample is greater than smaller sample
Right.
sometimes, and large sample wins out here in favor of Darvish. Dustin May has been awesome as well, keeping the ball on the ground. He's only allowed 1 home run this year, 12 ground ball outs last time out. Don't love the 3 strikeouts, but double-digit fantasy points in all but 1 start this year. Obviously, you want a little bit more than just double-digit fantasy points at 9,200, but we've seen 20 plus four times this year, so I like Dustin May. I am moderately, and I know Graham Ashcraft has been like bad-ish the last 2 starts, but the intrigue for me, even in cores, is that
Especially of
he
shutout baseball right now through 5 innings.
well that yes, but he is like ultimate ground ball guy. He has 5 starts this year of 10 or more ground ball outs. He's not a big strikeout guy. He has just 3 strikeouts in 4 straight games. But
Mhm.
like the one thing we know about the Colorado Rockies is they just like don't hit right-handed pitching well,
Right.
and that just kind of puts me on Ashcraft a little bit. So, because like you said, we are really just throwing darts at this point. After we get past Dustin May.
Yeah, listen, I would agree with you that Ashcraft is interesting. I mean, he's not an $8,100 pitcher, just given sort of his fantasy scores there, but I mean, there's not much else, right?
No,
I mean, if he can go a little bit deeper into the games and not give you too much, earn run against, then we saw 26, 18, and 20 fantasy points there to begin the year for him. And like I mentioned, Chase Anderson and Williamson, 2 guys that we kind of joked on, clowned a bit out here, shutout baseball each, 5 innings. So, who's to say that Ashcraft or Gomber can't go out there today and do this? These are bad offenses, right? This is what we talk
yep,
about a lot. Like we tend to gravitate towards cores and the history of cores and the game totals of cores, but Rockies lineup is not very good, right?
no,
So
no.
definitely, I agree with you. A spot for that, and then Ty Walker, sort of the same thing. Pitching well of late, Boston and Colorado, including one lineup in cores. Good starts. He had a good start against the White Sox. Struggled a bit against the Dodgers in Seattle. San Francisco, high strikeout rate. We know they're good offensively against righties, but Walker would be another dart throw today.
Yeah, and I'll say it again. Like they have been a good offense, but they've lost some pieces, and they've got pieces back that are hitting below 200. So although, yes, like Lamonte Wade hits righties, he's a specialist. Conforto has come around. Like, I don't think they're as good as they were earlier in the year against right-handed pitching. So, like Mitch Haniger playing every day, hitting 180. Like,
Right.
they lost Jock Peterson. I don't know. I could see myself getting a Taijuan Walker if I was spending down. But literally nobody else. There is not a single other pitcher down here. I guess. No, I can't even.
No, you know,
I was gonna try to make a case for Luis Medina, but no, I'm not
nah,
gonna.
nah,
Not gonna do that.
catcher here. If Menahaya hangs on, Real Muto looks mighty fine,
Yes.
right? Stevenson, same thing against Gomber, though we've talked about the struggles, obviously, at times. Both of those guys right up there, top 2 price catchers on a slate. And then on a short slate, it drops off, but it Gabriel Moreno's in the lineup at $3,200. Like, why not just plug him in?
Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel. To a T. Because then you look at the rest of the position, and there's really just nothing. I guess. Yeah, there's nothing else. It's Gabriel Moreno is the cheapest I'd consider. I'm trying to see Carlos Perez. Maybe he hit 4th, but that with a lefty on the mound. Oh, Langlier's 3,300. He hits righties well, and Ryan Nelson does not get anybody out. So I would have some like mild interest in Langoliers just because he's better again. He's like significantly better against righties.
Sure. First base. Where are you looking?
Christian Walker 4,400 is fine. Alec Boehm if Manaea is the pitcher, and we'll see who is. I mean, Alec Boehm might be in play anyway. He's starting to heat up again. Hits in 4 straight, home runs in 2 of his last 4. Spencer Steer gets a lefty 3,600. He's in play. Lamonte Wade 3,400. Maybe a dart throw at Will Myers.
Power's there. Power's definitely there.
Power's definitely there.
Noda 27.
And probably Noda 2,700.
Yeah, I'm with you. If you want to be different, you stack against Darvish, I guess, right? Prado and that group, but not great. It's a small slate. Those are the things. These are the decisions you have to make. There's going to be mega chalk. You figure out which pitcher you want to go with and play the other guys. Second base, Jonathan India versus lefty is always like a very automatic play. He's in Coors. He's $5,800. It is a smaller slate though, so there aren't really many guys, I guess, with his potential, like at 58 at that high price. Obviously, the outfield and the Dodgers, those guys are going to be expensive, but India's at 58. Estrada's better against righties at 54. Two obvious, spend ups because after that, it kind of Schmidt second base now. See that?
Second shortstop.
$2,900 could be just the lock play there.
Him and Estrada both second and shortstop. I find that interesting. You know who else is a shortstop for the San Francisco Giants? Brandon Crawford. So, yeah, they have 3 shortstops. Sure. Absolutely. That makes total sense. Second base is a weak position. I don't know really. Like, Ketel Marte, in theory, is a good spot, but 5,300 is crazy to pay for.
I agree.
It's India, Estrada, Schmidt.
Just assume we play May and Darvish, right? That gives us 3,800 a player. It feels like we're kind of stuck playing Schmidt at one of those positions, second or short.
Yeah, and I actually don't mind Harold Castro 2,600. He's been pretty good. You mentioned him the other day.
Yeah.
Not a lot of power, but 3 for 4 the other day, 3 RBIs, hit 379 over his last 10 games. So 2,600 lefty righty matchup. What is the splits here against old buddy Graham Ashcraft? We got Graham Ashcraft. Is he worse against lefties? No, significantly worse against righties.
Significantly worse against righties, huh?
Significantly worse against righties, yes.
Good to know. All right. Any other second baseman?
No.
Okay. Third base then. Maybe this is a spot where I'd pay Rojas, but Senzel's there at 46 as well. JD Davis. I don't know, man. Where else are you going? Yeah, it's a 5-game slate here, so I know we were not as enthusiastic about all these options, but there's 5 players to pick from at each position, so we're gonna need to get a little flexible here a bit.
Senzel's fine, 4,600. I like Ryan McMahon. He's okay. JD Davis, 3,900. He's hit righties very well this year. That's probably where I'd go. Not really that enthused with Emmanuel Rivera. Kevin Newman probably starts for Cincinnati here with a lefty on the mound. He's been okay this year. He hit lefties over 300 clip last year. Probably can say the same thing again. So I would take a shot on Kevin Newman, 28. Other than that, though, I don't.
Yeah.
Jace. You know what? Jace Peterson for Oakland. I actually don't mind that. He was a good baseball player in Milwaukee that just kind of got relegated to the worst franchise in professional sports. And like lefties against Ryan Nelson, and I know there's not a lot of them in Oakland. 370 average, 1,000 OPS, 452 WOBA. Like those are trash. Like those are horrible numbers. And if this was any other team other than Oakland, we'd be all over this.
Yeah.
He's only hitting 196 against righties, 3 home runs, all 12 RBIs against right-handed pitching this year. He'll be in the lineup. Is it like the most exciting play? No, but it's a pretty bad position. I couldn't tell you one guy that we were like completely sold on here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay getting to Jace Peterson, home runs in 2 of his last 5 games, like RBIs in 4 of his last 6. I think it could be worse than him.
I agree. Shortstop position. We mentioned Schmidt's already there. Estrada is as well. We also have Trey Turner potentially against Minaya at 52. Bobby Witt, Xander Bogaerts, 2 guys that are up there. Perdomo homered the other day. He's $3,700. Probably it. What's Barrero? Knocking out McLean. Oh yeah, where's McLean? What's McLean? Is he still?
He's 29. He's 29.
They bumped him up. Well, that's probably the go-to then. So we would use Schmidt at second, McLean at short then here, right?
I mean, if Sean Manaea is a starter, Trey Turner is in a really good spot, and I don't know who's going to start for KC. Like, if it's Heasley, I like all of San Diego, but I just don't understand what he's been in AAA for 11 days. Let's see. Yeah, there's nothing suggesting that Heasley's going to get the call. I don't know if DraftKings is fishing for something.
I'm Googling, not Googling. I'm on Twitter to see if something would follow up here.
Like Bogaerts at 47, the Padres could be really interesting depending on what Kansas City goes with. I agree on Perdomo.
So Royals, excuse me, Royals beat writer Ann Rogers. The Royals do not intend to name a starter for tomorrow's game until after tonight's game. Could be a bullpen game. Could bring somebody up.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess that's what Heasley is being slotted in as, like the could be guy. He also started for them last year, so it wouldn't surprise me to see him necessarily.
3 hours ago, they called up Jackson Kowar.
Okay.
So maybe he makes a start here, or at least is an opener. I feel like he's been a pitcher before, right?
He has. I'm looking to see if he is. Yeah.
Former top 100 prospect who has been absolutely abysmal since going to AAA.
He's also been
yeah, just terrible.
He's also made only 1 start in AAA.
Sure.
So feels if it were him, it would be a bullpen game, but
sure.
TBD, I guess, right?
Yeah, as I said, don't intend to name it until after the game tonight, according to Ann Rogers here. Could be a bullpen game, could bring somebody else up. So right. We will not know until after the conclusion tonight. So interesting. All right. So I agree with you on Turner. I get it. Xander's been so bad, though.
Is he so bad, though? That's the thing. He's been so bad,
but... Well, yes, actually. I think that there was pretty big indications that he was starting to fade off at the end of his Red Sox tenure.
Didn't he hit 320 last year?
But there was nothing else behind it.
I know, but is that so bad, 320?
You want to spend $4,700 on a singles hitter?
He has 6 home runs this year.
When
I know there was no power. He
hasn't hit him in 2 months.
38 doubles last year.
He had
53 extra base hits last year.
He has one. He hasn't homered since.
I'm not disputing that he did peak at 30 home runs, but he only did he was never a massive power hitter.
He's not a power guy, and he's getting older. I don't know, man.
I think it all is contingent on who the Royals send to the mound. I would be willing to get to Xander on this slate if the Royals send whoever, Joe Schmo, to the mound.
Possibly. I don't think I would go there. I'd rather spend down at the value in cores, or I would go up to Trey Turner.
Well, you and everyone else.
Sure. It's okay to be good chalk on a small slate.
I know.
Okay.
I'm just also. It's also just the option to.
Well, sure. You could play most of these guys as a pivot, so they're all there. Outfield. Tatis, I can get behind. Soto, I can get behind really regardless of who's on the mound. That's fine.
And depending on who Harper's facing,
I might pay. Well. I might even play him against Manaea.
Yeah,
honestly.
probably. Probably.
He's 359, 590 slug since coming back here. Corbin Carroll gets Medina at 55. Probably a strong spot for him there. Let's see, Fraley's a lefty, so I don't know if that will work against.
I don't even know if he's gonna play. I don't even know if he's gonna play. They probably play Fairchild.
Okay, I was gonna say, what's their splits for against lefties there for?
They probably play Fairchild. I wonder if they play Barrero in the outfield and like Henry Ramos, who's a split hitter, or they play Will Myers.
Ramos makes sense for sure.
Yeah. I would assume Fraley. I don't even think he's had that many at bat. He has had. Jake Fraley has
Will
had
Myers probably, right?
16 at bats against. He's 1 for 16 against lefties.
Will Myers has been dreadful, but he likely is.
Yeah, I think what they could do here is maybe DH Stevenson, start Kurt Casale at catcher, and then just move Will Myers to the outfield.
Yeah.
That's probably what they do. All three of those guys have like a bunch of bats.
Yeah. So again, Carroll's there. I'm okay really playing anybody against Manaea. So Schwarber even against Manaea would probably be fine. Castellanos definitely against Manaea would be fine if he's the one that they go with there. I mean, you said that righty significantly better against Ashcraft, so that puts Grichuk at 4K right in play.
Yep.
Yaz being back at 41, I could get behind. Who's been
he's been solid. He's been solid.
Yeah, reinstated against off the IL. So Rooker's obviously always there. Story Ruiz is always there.
Yeah, I think Oakland is
David
a little
Smith at 33.
Yep. And our boy, where is he? Fletcher, 28.
Conforto has 1,000 OPS and a 660 slug over the last 10 games.
Hitting bombs. Hitting bombs.
250 average, but doing just home runs.
4 home runs over his last 6 games.
What's Taiwan struggling against?
Lefties,
yeah. Oh, right, because we stacked all those lefties against the Red Sox, and he actually pitched a gem.
Sure did. Sure did.
Blade?
Yes, that's the spot. And yeah, the thing is,
like, are we on this slate? We're doing it.
We are. I think it's viable. Like, if Ryan Nelson again, like if you looked at Ryan Nelson's stats and you were like, would you stack against this guy? Be like, yeah, I would. If you just covered up Oakland's name, he doesn't strike people out. He has a 5.75 K per 9. He allows 1.5 home runs per 9. He has a 6.20 ERA. 14% strikeout rate is abysmal. The ground ball rate is good for Ryan Nelson, but 36% hard hit rate. Lefties are killing the guy. 8 starts this year. Good sample. Lefties 370 average, 616 slug, 452 WOBA. JJ Bleday signed me up. 2 home runs per 9 innings as well for Ryan Nelson.
Christian Walker was homer too, by the way.
Yes, he sure did. It's
good for him.
Good for us.
Good for us, exactly. All right, let's build a lineup here. We got a couple minutes. Give me your home run call. And since it's a small slate, we can include
Coors. I'm not going to include Coors.
There's nothing. I was going to say there's nothing in Coors that we probably really want anyways. But
I'm gonna go with JJ Bleday. Lefties are killing Ryan Nelson. All the home runs, all the power. I'm gonna go JJ Bleday. Because we also don't know two of the pitchers on the slate. So, like, I'm.
You go Bidet. I will go. It's true. I'm just gonna go Bryce Harper.
Yeah,
I just don't think it's gonna matter. I don't think it's gonna matter. Just gonna go Bryce Harper there. All right, let's build our lineup. I got Darvish and May already in there. Who is our values that we're using here? You like Bidet? I'm with you.
Bidet.
29.
Yep.
I still think McLean is where we need to go here. The value. It's either him or Schmidt. You pick. What's your value infield?
I mean, we could play both. Right?
Yeah, play both. Schmidt's fine with me. 4,300 for almost 4,400 for the rest of the positions here.
What do we got? We got catcher.
Stevenson,
I know. I was just saying, kind of like Stevenson. Kind of like Langoliers. Kind of like Moreno. Moreno's been better against lefties, though. I don't know. What's your?
I mean, we can do a Stevenson, Steer, McLean stack.
Yeah, that works.
Like, is this 4,500 for the third baseman, outfield, and outfield?
Third baseman, 4,500.
Jace Peterson's 24.
On God, Jace Peterson to the moon. I don't. This is the worst position on. This was the worst.
JD Davis.
Yeah, probably JD Davis.
All right, and then 4,800 for 2 outfield spots.
Pass. Can we just pass?
Let's go.
Just kidding. 4,800 is.
I'm gonna go
Grishik 4K.
Yeah. 56 Corbin Carroll.
100 off Soto.
Soto? 100 off Soto.
100 off Soto. Yeah. What did we do? We did Grishik 4K.
Yeah. We can go down. There's nothing.
Rucker? Rucker 37?
Rucker's fine.
Do a little Oakland 2-man?
Yeah, why not? $5,900. Bryce Harper? Soto? You see Soto, right?
Yeah, I like Soto a lot.
All right. 1 off Soto. So we got Darvish, May, Stevenson, Steer, Schmidt, Davis, McLean, Bidet, Rooker, and Soto. 5 games here starting at 3 o'clock. We'll be in the Discord to help you all out with your lineup questions there leading up to roster block. And then James and I will be back at 5 o'clock Eastern to break down the 7 o'clock main slate. So make sure you all stay tuned to that. If you're not yet a member of the Fantasy Farm family, follow along. FantasyFarm.com/allpro. Use promo code MLB50. It will save you 50% off the first 6 months. It's $19.98 a month for the first 6 months. And right now we have a 7-day free trial going along with all of that as well. So you join today, get 7 days free. If you don't like it, you cancel, no charge. You'll stick with us, though. You'll get into that premium Discord where we're in there answering everybody's questions and getting you ready to dominate your MLB DFS slates. James and I will be back again, 5 o'clock